GA spoke about dealing with banks is a really crucial one, given that much of the land which sports clubs are on is state-owned or through the council, and liens on any mortgages would often be against that. And so really there isn't the same degree to realise a debt if a club runs into trouble. And perhaps the three organisations that are here with us today, and I'm happy to try and facilitate this with the Minister for Sport, there might be an opportunity for those three organisations to meet with representatives of the banking industry to see what can be done, because I really feel that if the banks step up to the mark here, it would take a significant pressure off, particularly local clubs that might have very small elements of a loan. I don't want to dwell too much on the financial elements because there are other issues that I want to speak about. And I don't want to unpick the national plan which has been announced only this week. I was at a funeral this week where the doors were closed to many people who wanted to attend and sympathise that funeral, and so the idea of people returning to a stadium, particularly as in Dublin where we won't even be able to return in small numbers, I think seems like a very long way off. But I agree we need to start planning for what that looks like should the virus continue for long periods. My question, though, is around school children. What engagement have you had in terms of the national plan, and particularly around matches for school-going age children? I appreciate contact is inevitable during a match, and training is permitted, but has there been discussions around allowing matches at junior level?
Throughout the country, matches would be taking place at juvenile level as we would consider it. And,
I should preface my remarks at level 3.
Oh, sorry, within that context, yeah. Well, in fairness to both school authorities at both primary and post-primary level, they were under enough pressure at the return to school, so they have actually made clear decisions to postpone school games for a period of time until they get, I suppose, more comfortable in the environment of running a school. And the challenges in going to school matches are slightly different to club matches in terms of parents would bring the individual child. In school, you'd be looking for a large number of children to be moved from one venue to another, and the challenges therein. So school activity is going to be suspended at the moment. Under level 3, juvenile activity will be actually suspended. So that's a challenge possibly facing Dublin this weekend. But we found from our cool camps that children's activity, once it's properly organised and structured, and I might add, like every child that goes to a training session, the parents within our organisation have to complete a questionnaire confirming that there's actually no COVID factors within the house or for the child. So in that context, I think it is a safe environment for our children to play, and I think, as you see from the stats from our summer camp activity of 71,000 children taking part in our camps, we have good structure in place. My own young lad goes to his training session. They're broken into pods the minute they arrive at the training session, and it's all organised in a very structured way. So I'm comfortable that the activity of younger members, juveniles, is well catered for, but unfortunately under level 3 there is that possibility that we're in Dublin this weekend that will be suspended.
Chair, could I have a short answer from the FAI as well?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I think we're back playing, so I think we've been feeding everything back. We've had a very successful return. We started in early June with the League of Ireland, and we progressed all the way through to amateur and underage. We've had very little sort of bad experiences in that. In fact, it's been a very successful return. We're feeding that into the expert medical group, and I think there is a case to be made that at level 3 we should be continued to allow to be played, and we will feed that in as good feedback through them. What we have found is that they've responded to the feedback we give them and the findings that we've had on a week-to-week basis. Level 3 this week will be a bit of a blow to us, to be honest, if we're not back, if we have to stop all the matches. But we'll go through the right channels to feed that back.
I've only one rugby club in my area, Chair, but I wouldn't like to not hear from the IRFU.
I appreciate that. No, listen. I just echo what John and Gary have said. I mean, we had successful summer camps towards the end of the summer, and from a kid's point of view, it was enormously successful. Just seeing kids out on the park is just so important, and it requires good organisation, good protocols, and at club level that can all be delivered. I think in terms of schools, obviously schools are a slightly different environment. It's really a matter for the schools themselves as to how far do they want to go in terms of giving access to sports during the school year, and I think some schools are very open to it, others are more cautious, and obviously we work very closely with them and with the expert group. And obviously level 3 at the moment is in Dublin is going to be a bit of a blow for those clubs that had opened up. But listen, we have to deal with that.
Mr. Brown.